The most dangerous place on Earth isn't a war zone. It isn't a dark alley at 3 a.m. The most dangerous place on Earth is your comfort zone. It's that warm bed on a Monday morning when it's raining outside. It's the couch that swallows you whole after a mediocre day at a job you tolerate but secretly despise. It's the luminous screen in your hand, 7 you bite-sized dopamine hits of other people living the lives you dream of, while you just sit there, decaying. This was Elias's life. Elias was 32 years old, and he was in a coma. Not a medical coma. He was walking, talking, paying his taxes, and breathing air. But inside, he was asleep. He was the architect of his own prison. He built, with bricks of procrastination and mortar made of fear. He lived on Someday I'll. Someday I'll get in shape. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll travel. But someday is a lie you tell yourself to avoid the pain of today. Elias worked in mid-level logistics. A grey cubicle in a grey building, surrounded by grey people. He made enough money to be comfortable, but not enough to be free. He had just enough debt to keep him terrified of losing his job, just enough streaming services to keep him distracted, and just enough weekends to forget the misery of the weekdays. He was safe, and he was slowly dying inside. Every morning, the alarm went off at 6:30 a.m. It wasn't just a sound, it was a starting pistol for another 12 hours of acting. Acting interested in meetings. Acting happy when asked, "How's your week going?" Acting like he wasn't screaming internally. He looked in the mirror one Tuesday morning. Really looked. He didn't see a monster. He saw something worse. He saw potential that was beginning to rot. He saw soft eyes that had stopped hunting. Saw a body designed to move, build, and fight, now softened by cheap food and sedentary living. He saw an extra in the movie of his own life. "I'm okay," he whispered to the reflection. That was the biggest lie of all. Okay is the enemy of great. Okay is the anesthetic that keeps you on the operating table while life cuts away your dreams. That evening, he came home to his silent apartment. He ordered takeout because cooking felt too hard. He opened a beer. He sat on the couch. He scrolled through his phone. An old college friend, Mark, had just posted a picture. Standing on a mountain peak he had just climbed, looking ripped, exhausted, and incredibly alive. The caption read, "The view is only sweet if the climb was terrible." Elias felt a sting of resentment. Why was Mark on a mountain? And why was he on a couch nursing a lukewarm beer? The question clawed at him. It was grief for the time he had wasted. The universe has a funny way of waking you up when you sleep too long. And it usually doesn't use a gentle nudge. It uses a sledgehammer. The sledgehammer hit on a Thursday. It came in the form of a company-wide email, restructuring. The corporate euphemism for, "We don't need you anymore." It took 12 minutes to erase 8 years of his loyalty. He drove home in silence, the noise in his head deafening. How will I pay rent? What about the car loan? I'm 32, with $4,000 in savings, and I have no idea who I am outside of that grey cubicle. Panic is a powerful drug. It sharpens the senses, too. For the first time in years, Elias wasn't numb. He was terrified. 2. He got home and threw his box of office stuff in the corner. He needed to feel something other than fear. He put on a pair of old running shoes he hadn't worn in 3 years. He stepped outside. He started to run. It was a desperate, clumsy shuffle. Within 2 blocks, his lungs burned like he'd inhaled broken glass. His legs felt heavy as lead. He wanted to stop. Every instinct screamed at him to go back to the couch. "This hurts. Why are you doing this? You're pathetic." He stopped at a street corner, hands on his knees, gasping for air. A teenager on a skateboard rolled past, smirking. Shame washed over him. But beneath the shame, beneath the physical pain, something flickered. A spark. He hated this feeling. He hated being weak. He hated being disposable. He straightened up. He didn't run again. He walked. But he walked with a different energy. He walked with anger. Anger is a dangerous fuel, but it burns hot. It's better than apathy. Apathy will kill you slowly in your sleep. Anger will wake you up. He got back to his apartment and looked in the mirror again. The same soft face stared back, but the eyes were different. The glaze was gone. "You did this to yourself," he said aloud. His voice was flat, with no self-pity. "You took the easy road every single day for a decade, and it led you right here. To nothing." The harsh truth landed with crushing weight. Nobody was coming to save him. He was alone in the Colosseum of life, and the lions were circling. He could lay down and get eaten, like he had been doing for years. Or he could pick up a weapon and fight. That night, Elias didn't watch TV. The fear was still there, but it was no longer paralyzing. It was mobilizing. The coma was over. The nightmare had begun.
Have you ever felt a sudden burst of motivation? That feeling like you can conquer the world. You wake up early. You watch those hardcore motivational videos. You make a giant, impossible to-do list. Run 5 miles, apply for 20 jobs, learn a new skill, all in one day. Day 1, you crush it. You feel amazing, smug even. You think, see, I can do this. But then day 2 hits. Lloré. Sorry. The videos don't hit the same. You only get half the list done. By day 3, it's raining. Your bed is warm. And that little voice whispers, you deserve a rest day. Start again on Monday. You roll over, and just like that, the motivation is gone, replaced by that old familiar feeling of failure. Here's the harsh truth. Motivation is garbage. It's a feeling, and feelings are fickle. You can't build a life on a foundation that shifts with the wind. The real problem isn't a lack of motivation. It's a lack of discipline. It's not knowing how to do things when you don't feel like it. Because success doesn't care about your feelings. It demands payment every single day in advance, and it only takes one currency: cold, hard effort. So, how do you build that discipline? You stop looking for a sudden spark and start building systems. You throw away the impossible list and create a short list of non-negotiables. Small things you do every single day, no matter what. Rule number 1. When the alarm goes off, your feet hit the floor. Immediately. The snooze button is a negotiation with weakness, and weakness always wins. Rule number 2. Move your body every day. Run, walk, crawl. It doesn't matter. Just move. The weather doesn't matter. Your soreness doesn't matter. Rule number 3. Dedicate time to deep work on a skill, even when it's hard, even when you hate it. This period is what I call the wilderness. It's not cinematic. There's no triumphant music. It's quiet, lonely, and painfully boring. You might lose friends who don't understand why you're not fun anymore. You'll be broke. You'll eat rice and beans. There will be nights you'll stare at the ceiling and wonder, is this even worth it? But then you'll remember why you started, and you get up and you do the work. You learn to make friends with the pain, because pain is just the sensation of growth. This is how you build self-respect, not by achieving some big, far-off goal, but by keeping the promises you make to yourself every single day. You have to understand, you can do everything right and still lose. You can grind for months, make every sacrifice, and still get rejected because of politics or bad luck. The world doesn't owe you anything. The old you would crumble. The old you would order pizza, spiral into depression, and give up. But the new you, the disciplined you feel that rage, that frustration, but you don't let it break you. You use italiano. You put on your shoes and you run straight into the storm, daring the universe to throw more at you. Character is what you do in the dark when no one is watching, and you have every reason to quit. That's when the real breakthrough happens. You stop working for a job or for external validation. You start working for yourself to prove that you cannot be stopped. And suddenly, the dynamic shifts. Opportunities don't just appear, you create them. People who ignored you now need you. But the biggest victory isn't the job offer or the money. The victory is the person you've become. The person who knows they can endure pain. The person who can rebuild from nothing. The fight never ends. Success isn't a destination. It's a moving target. The moment you get comfortable, you start dying again. So, wake up, look in the mirror, and tell yourself the truth. Stop waiting for motivation. Forge yourself into someone who is capable of taking what they want from life. It will hurt. You will be lonely. You will want to quit. Good. That means you're finally alive. Now, go fight. Thanks for watching.